Hi, you're listening to the Love and Money podcast, and my name is Shakira. And today I'm going to talk to you about the war. Why is Russia attacking Ukraine? But before I do that, I'm going to go over a little bit of geography to show you where we are and what is happening. So, here we are in the United States. If you can see. So, to get to where the war is happening, you're going to travel across the North Atlantic Ocean. Then you're going to hit Spain. Then you're going to hit France. Then you go over some more to Poland, Ukraine, and Russia. So that's a little bit of the geography. If you can see here, Russia being right here, Ukraine being right here, and then France is not too far away. Spain is not too far away. So that's where we are geographically. So the bottom line, why is Russia attacking Ukraine? If you're the kind of person that wants a bottom line, this is the bottom line. President Vladimir Putin is making his own geographical map. In his mind, Ukraine is Russia. They are one people. So this is why he is attacking Ukraine. He's changing or attempting to change the whole geographical map. According to him, they are one people. And what Ukraine is doing is Ukraine is fighting for its independence. So this is something that has been going on for decades. It has a long history behind it. And so I'm just going to kind of go over the history. So as far as what is happening now, President Putin, his main target is the city of Kyiv, spelled Kyviv. That is his main target. Of course, they are targeting basically all the cities. They're surrounding all the cities in Ukraine, but his main target is a city called Kyiv. People are sheltering in basements and they're sheltering in the metro stations. So 2,000 people have been killed in 8 days, and 500,000 people have been forced to flee. They are fleeing over to Poland, which is right next door to Ukraine. You see this map here. You have, we start here at Russia, go down a little bit to Ukraine, and then right next door is Poland. That's where they're fleeing to. So 500,000 people have been forced to flee. So the reason why this has media attention is because this is one of Europe's largest wars since World War II. So, like I said before, according to President Putin, which is the president of Russia, he claims that Ukraine belongs to Russia and that they are one people. He is changing geographical map of, the areas that I just showed you on the globe, that Ukraine and Russia are one. That is what he is attempting to do. And so Ukraine is currently its own nation. It has its own language, it has its own culture, it has its own political system. So Putin is attempting to change that. We are one, according to Putin. So Ukraine is fighting for its own identity. Ukraine gained its independence from Russia a while ago, because this has been going on for a long time. This has a very long history. Ukraine has gained its independence from Russia a long time ago. But regardless of that, Ukraine was taken over by the Soviet Union. So in 1949, the United States and Canada, they formed what is called NATO. NATO stands for North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And so countries that belong to NATO are protected. The guarantee of being a member of NATO says that if any other country invades you, that they would come together and fight for you. So that's what NATO is. So the countries that are in NATO, who are members of NATO, are more protected. And Ukraine is not a member of NATO. So that might explain why um, you can see that they're being terrorized, and people can see this all over the world, but they're not doing anything about it. Ukraine is not a part of NATO. So in 1991, Ukraine declared independence from Soviet domination. And then the Soviet Union dissolved into 15 independent countries, including Russia. So if you look at the map here, you can see here, you have Russia, you have Ukraine, and then if you can imagine an imaginary line going down this way. So over to the right was the Soviet Union, and over to the left were countries that belonged to NATO. It's a line here. And so Ukraine is here in the middle, not a part of NATO, and Russia does not agree with Ukraine becoming NATO because Ukraine is mine. Ukraine is mine. But Ukraine had considered becoming a member of NATO. Here on the left side, Ukraine had considered becoming a member of NATO. Russia is against Ukraine becoming a member of NATO. So that's what's going on with the two different sides. You have the right side, Soviet Union, the left side, NATO. Ukraine is here in the middle. They didn't join NATO. So that's kind of what's going on geographically. So in 1999, Poland, Hungary, the Czech Republic, they all joined NATO. And then in 2004, 7 more countries joined NATO. So Ukraine wanted to join NATO, but they didn't. Instead, they decided to tie with Russia. And then there were protesters hitting the street because they disagreed with this decision of tying with Russia. So as a result of that, Ukrainian people, they killed 100 people, Ukrainian people, which drove the president out of office. This is in history. 14,000 Ukrainians were killed and 2 million Ukrainians were displaced. This is all over the argument of, am I going to side with NATO on the left, or am I going to side with Russia on the right? So the end result is Ukraine, they didn't join NATO, but they were thinking about it, and they had got to the last point where all they needed to do was sign the agreement, and Ukraine didn't sign the agreement to join NATO. So in November of 2001, there were 100,000 troops that surrounded Ukraine. Because remember, President Putin, in his eyes, Ukraine is his. So in November 2021, he sent 100,000 troops all along the border of Ukraine. If you can imagine Ukraine, 100,000 troops all surrounding Ukraine. This is in November 2021. And then Putin, he just pretended that he didn't plan on going to war. But all this time, he was positioning and putting people in place. But he was pretending that he didn't intend on doing anything. This is November 2021. He's positioning more people, positioning more troops, positioning. November 2021, you got 100,000 people positioned in place. So in February the 24th was the date of the full invasion of Ukraine. And like I said before, 2,000 people have been killed already in 8 days. Like I said before, Ukraine is fighting for their independence. And President Putin, he has the world's largest arsenal of nuclear weapons. So I find that interesting. He has the largest arsenal, the world's largest arsenal of nuclear weapons. So this is what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. A quick breakdown. It has a very, very long history. It has all media attention, all mainstream media attention. Meanwhile, there's a war going on here, right here in the United States, that does not have media attention, that deserves media attention. You know about the crime here and how many people are dying here every day. It doesn't have the media attention that it deserves. Also, there's something else going on that I want you to know about, and it's called the Organized Contract Stalking Program. This is military based, and what they do is they target innocent citizens here in the United States, and they are under government surveillance 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And what they do is they hire people to stalk you. That stalker is a different stalker is with you in church. Stalkers are with you at your job. Stalkers are with you at the grocery store. Stalkers are with you at the gas station. This is a 24-hour a day, 7 days a week. It's called the Organized Contract Stalking Program. Also, there is the Electronic Torture Program. So I told you that Russia has the largest arsenal of nuclear weapons. Well, there are secret military weapons that you're not aware of. They're they have the nuclear weapons, but they also have the EMF weapons. They send electromagnetic frequencies. And so, in addition to the Organized Contract Stalking Program, there is the Electronic Torture Program. And in this Electronic Torture Program, there are weapons that you know nothing about. They target innocent people, and they have things such as the wicked laser. The wicked laser, it leaves lacerations and burns on your skin. They have satellites. The satellites, it looks like a normal sun. Like if you were to look into the sky, you see the sun, you see the moon, you see the stars. The satellite, it looks like a normal sun. They have all of these secret weapons. They have the wicked laser. They have the electromagnetic frequency devices. Um, there's all kind of things going on, and this is called electronic torture, and it has absolutely no media attention whatsoever. Organized contract stalking program, electronic torture program. So I just want you to be aware there's a war going on between Russia and Ukraine, and then there is a war going on right here in the United States that is not getting the media attention that it deserves. So this is the Love and Money Podcast with Shakira. If you like this podcast, please share it with one other person. Please hit the like button on your way out. Please hit the red subscribe button and the notification bell. And please leave a comment. Thank you for listening and have a good rest of your day.